The new Champions League season is here, and thanks to the new format, we'll be seeing some really huge matchups from the very first match day. But this season, we don't just have big games to look forward to, there are also some super exciting storylines which add an extra layer of intrigue, sentiment, and drama to the games. We'll be talking about some of those in this video. These are 15 crazy reunions to look out for in the league phase of the Champions League. On matchday 1, we have two of the biggest reunions of the entire league phase. First of all, we'll be seeing Kevin De Bruyne return to the Etihad Stadium, a place where he called home for 10 years and left as a true legend. I mean, he has a road named after him at the stadium, and the club has already commissioned a statue for him. You can even argue that he's the greatest player in the club's history, so we fully expect the Etihad crowd to be chanting King Kev several times during the game. Now, that's a fixture that will definitely go beyond just football. You better not miss it. There's another huge reunion on matchday 1 involving another player who just left the Premier League this summer. Can you guess who we're referring to here? Tell us in the comments, we'll see if you're right soon. While you're there, if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, go do that right away so you never miss out on our amazing content. Up next, on the penultimate match day of the league phase, we'll be seeing Kylian Mbappe reunite with his first professional club, AS Monaco. In the 2016-17 season, a teenage Mbappe was leading Monaco to the semis of the Champions League. Now, 8 years later, he's hoping to take points off them in the first stage of the same competition. Having played for PSG for years, Mbappe has gone up against Monaco a handful of times in the past, but this will be the first time he'll be playing against them in the Champions League, so it's going to be a little special. Another special reunion we're looking forward to is that of Eberechi Eze and Michael Olise. Both these guys were teammates at Crystal Palace just a couple years ago, and they formed a very lethal partnership in South London. But come matchday 5, we'll be seeing those two guys play against each other for the first time when Arsenal host Bayern Munich. Maybe we'll be getting a reenactment of the Lewandowski and Rice meme. We definitely would love to see that. Now, remember we said that there's another huge reunion one matchday, one involving a player who just left the Premier League this summer. We're sure a lot of you guessed Trent, but you're wrong. Yes, we're getting that reunion, but it's not on matchday 1. So keep sending in your guesses while we talk about the English right back. On matchday 4, Trent will be returning to Anfield after having left them on a free transfer a couple months ago. The fans are not happy with him and how he left, and they have been pretty clear about that since he announced that he'll be leaving. So, what kind of welcome do you think the defender will receive when he returns to a place he called home for 20 years? Will he be booed by Liverpool fans all game? Will they have banners put up for him? Will they throw things at him? Or will they actually give him a warm welcome? What do you think? But interestingly, he's not even the only one who'll be having a reunion that day. Real Madrid coach Xabi Alonso will also be returning to Anfield after having played there for 5 years between 2004 and 2009. He even helped them win the Champions League in 2005, so he's something of an icon at the club. Still on the topic of Liverpool, when they host PSV on matchday 5, we'll be seeing Cody Gakpo reuniting with his former team. And it's not just his former team, it's a club he called home for 16 years. He joined the club when he was just 8 years old and was there until he moved to Liverpool in 2023. So yeah, that could potentially be an emotional one for the winger. Another Liverpool attacker who belongs here is Hugo Ekitike. Just months after leaving Eintracht Frankfurt for big money, he'll be returning there when the German outfit play host to Liverpool on the third matchday of the Champions League campaign. Will he score against them? And if he does, will he celebrate? We'll only have to wait and see. Now, that player who we were referring to earlier is none other than Nicolas Jackson. On matchday 1, we'll be seeing Bayern Munich host Chelsea, which means that Nicolas Jackson will be going up against his parent club. Going by the statements coming out of the Bayern camp, Nicolas Jackson is likely to be back at Chelsea next summer, so we can't even call it his former club. But we're sure that the Senegalese striker will be desperate to make a statement against Chelsea. But the big question now is, will Kompany start him? Speaking of Kompany, let's talk about his former club, Manchester City. Apart from De Bruyne, Leroy Sané and Ilkay Gundogan will also be returning to the Etihad in the league phase of the Champions League this season. The two Germans moved to Galatasaray this summer and will now be heading back to Manchester to face their former club on the last match day of the league phase. Sané and Gundogan are deeply loved by the City fan base, so that reunion is bound to be a pretty interesting one. Still on the topic of Manchester City, their star striker Erling Haaland will be reuniting with Borussia Dortmund once again. The last time the Norwegian marksman welcomed Dortmund to the Etihad, he ended up scoring a wonder goal. what do you think he's going to produce on matchday 4? But that's not even all for Premier League players returning to their former clubs. On matchday 2, Enzo Fernandez will be taking centre stage when he reunites with his former club Benfica. The Argentine midfielder is the most expensive sale Benfica have made in their entire history, so we assume there'll still be a lot of love for him there. And matchday 2 will be giving us a lot of interesting storylines because we'll also be seeing Bernardo Silva returning to AS Monaco. He left Monaco in 2017 as a 23-year-old talent, but he'll now be returning as captain of one of the biggest clubs in Europe. It's bound to be a super emotional meeting for the Portuguese. That same day, we'll also be seeing Barcelona host PSG at the Camp Nou, but Ousmane Dembele is expected to miss that game due to injury, so the only reunion we'll be seeing is that of Luis Enrique, who returns to the place he called home, both as player and manager. Now, this next one, we're sure absolutely nobody saw it coming. On matchday 7, when Chelsea host Paphos, we'll be seeing David Luiz return to Stamford Bridge. The 38-year-old Brazilian just moved to the Cypriot club this summer, and he'll already be going up against a team where he spent 6 years over 2 stints in the biggest club competition. David Luiz is a player who is loved and respected at Chelsea, so we expect that he'll receive a warm welcome from the Stamford Bridge crowd. Another really big one to look forward to is Paul Pogba reuniting with Juventus on the final matchday of the league phase. Pogba's story is never complete without Juventus. It was there that he blossomed into a world-class player, and it was also there that he reached the lowest of lows, getting banned for 18 months after failing a doping test. He only just returned to football after that ban this year, and he'll already have to face a club he knows all too well. That could be a really emotional affair, you know. Speaking of AS Monaco, they also signed Eric Dier this summer, and on matchday 3, he'll be reuniting with his former club Spurs. The last time Spurs were in the Champions League, Eric Dier was in the squad. Now that they're back in it, he'll also be a part of the story. Very interesting. Now, those are 15 super interesting reunions to look forward to in the Champions League this season, but there are more storylines to keep your eyes on. Barcelona will be seeking revenge against PSG and Eintracht Frankfurt, who knocked them out of the 2024 Champions League and the 2022 Europa League respectively. Arsenal v Athletic on matchday 1 will feel a bit like a Basque derby with Zubimendi, Merino and Odegaard all having previously played for Real Sociedad. We'll also be seeing the City v Madrid fixture from what feels like the 100th time in the last 5 years. Are there more of these storylines and reunions we'll be seeing in the UCL this season? Share them with us in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye!
Do you want to make money with affiliate marketing? Join the Goal90 Shop affiliate program and start earning today. Get your unique affiliate link and exclusive discount coupon to share with your audience. Every sale made through your link earns you a 10% commission. No limits, just real earnings. Don't miss out. Turn your influence into income now.